So we all know trickle truth is bad. We got that established. But what happens when you ask your spouse or your partner or significant other questions, or you need to know something about the affair, and he or she says, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't recall, what have you? Well, first of all, they could be blatantly lying. It's a possibility, probability. They could be lying. That's one. Number two, if you need to get a polygraph, then you get a polygraph. You may need a polygraph. But I also want you to consider between dissociation, categorization, compartmentalizing, all this other stuff. There are, not to mention, oftentimes people that are in affairs, they actually want desperately to not remember certain things, especially if they're still involved with the spouse. So basically what happens is somebody will be involved in affair activity, and then they'll leave the place feeling like crap, feeling embarrassed, feeling ashamed. They might do something self-harmish, like go out and drink or, whatever. Or they might have to stop somewhere and draw or have a cup of coffee and kind of get back into their mode as opposed to the mode of who they had to become in the affair or who they wanted to become in the affair. So a couple things real quick. Number one, I do want you to understand that when you are asking your spouse, partner, significant other questions, there's a good possibility that they disassociated or they categorized and it's hidden deep within somewhere and they just can't recall. Number two, I want you to marinate on the fact that perhaps, or a good possibility, not just perhaps, is ask yourself, is there intentional deceptive lying? Because there's a difference between somebody not recalling or somebody trying to hide something. Is there intentional deceptive lying? Now, even if there is deceptive intentional lying, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of fear, such as, I don't want you to leave me if I'm honest. I don't want to get into an argument if I'm honest. Not that it makes it any easier, and it's not acceptable to lie anyways, but those are some things to think about. Two, the difference between information and details. Did they, are there different details or are there different information? And here's the difference. Information is something that's significant, details are not. So for example, did you go to Motel 8 on Main Street? That's information. So there shouldn't ever be 6 months down the line, 2 years down the line, 10 years. Hey, you know what? I went to a Motel 8 on Main Street. Bull. A detail is, did they have a red marble on the left nightstand of their bed? Well, that's a detail. And details will change. Details can change. That's not intentional. Details change for many different reasons, none of which I'm going to get into right now. But information shouldn't change. So the reason I'm just giving you all of this is just really marinate on there's a lot of different things that go on when you're trying to ask your partner, spouse, significant other about certain questions, certain information, certain details. So take all of that into consideration when you need to know something and you ask your spouse, partner, significant other about their behavior during the affair. I hope this helps in some way.